To achieve what many deem impossible, you must first embrace a way of thinking that most will never dare to explore. You need to yourself from the crowd transcend the conventional of the masses. Others consider realistic, I perceive as mere resignation. What most label as safe, I deem spiritually bankrupt. True greatness does not stem from caution. It emerges from a crystal-clear sense of purpose paired with an unwavering will, so fierce that it bends the very fabric of the universe. The individual who accomplishes the impossible is not driven by recklessness. Rather, he embodies relentless determination. He does not rely on luck. He commits to his vision with steely resolve. He does not seek comfort. Instead, he demands alignment among his thoughts, beliefs, and actions, thereby generating outcomes that others scarcely dare to envision. Let me be unequivocal. Every achievement begins with a thought. But not just any thought. I'm referring to organized, directed, emotionally charged, and relentlessly repeated thinking. This is where many falter. They allow their thoughts to drift and fall in line with the collective assumptions of others, thinking like mere spectators in a stadium instead of architects of their own destinies. If you do not master your thoughts, then you relinquish control over your life. To think with true power, you need to be ruthless about what enters your mind. Treat your mind as sacred soil. Every thought is a seed. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and weakness, don't be surprised when your results manifest in bitterness or deficiency. Conversely, if you choose to sow seeds of belief, vision, clarity of desire, and an absolute refusal to quit, the boundaries of impossibility will begin to fade away. The only limit that truly constrains a person is the limit of their own belief. I have seen individuals rise from nothing, less than nothing, simply because they held an unwavering belief that their dreams were attainable. Conversely, I have witnessed others, armed with education, wealth, connections, and brilliance, falter due to the misguided belief that their dreams were excessively grand. The world may label your dreams as impossible. That is their prerogative, but it is not your reality. The moment you embrace an idea with total belief, marry it to a definite purpose, nurture it with faith, and safeguard it with discipline, you summon forces within and around you that the average person will never comprehend. Most individuals perceive the world through the lens of limitation, stating, "This has never been done before," and swiftly resigning themselves to despair. However, the one who dares to achieve the impossible asserts, "Then I shall be the first." In that instant, everything changes. This individual no longer adheres to the established rules of society. He forges new rules rooted in his own vision. Real thinking is not merely analytical, but rather creative. The mind is the only tool capable of transforming the invisible into tangible accomplishments, be it steel, currency, or empires. However, this power must be directed, governed, and trained like a wild stallion until it submits to the guidance of purpose. Consider this. Are your thoughts building your destiny, or are they stealing it from you? Many individuals traverse life adopting a victim mentality, echoing the opinions of others and fixating on fear. They spend more time worrying about potential failures than they do plotting their path to success. That is not true thinking. That is surrender. Genuine thinking is laborious and rare. It requires you to confront your excuses, eliminate your crutches, challenge your assumptions, and ultimately ask yourself, what do I genuinely want, and how can I make it non-negotiable? This clarity of purpose is the cornerstone of all significant achievements. The person who accomplishes the impossible does not chase a hazy dream. He knows the exact figures, the specific addresses, the precise titles, and the definitive outcomes. His vision is etched into his mind so vividly that it becomes more real than the obstacles blocking his path. This clarity is what I refer to as definiteness of purpose. Without it, your energy becomes scattered, your focus remains weak, and your actions may long for consistency. Yet, with it, you transform into a powerful entity, an unstoppable force, whose drive cannot be extinguished by failure, fatigue, or fear. The second principle essential for achieving the impossible is applied faith, not the passive kind, but an active, driving force. This faith compels you to behave as if your dreams have already been fulfilled. You must learn to embody the mindset of someone who already owns their empire, speaks with authority, and moves with the conviction that success is not a matter of chance, but of certainty. Do not mistake this for delusion. It is alignment. The universe responds not to those who plead, but to those who build, to individuals who act in accordance with their beliefs. However, be prepared. The world will challenge you. You may face mockery, doubt, and misunderstanding. But these trials are not signs of failure. They are indicators that you are moving ahead on a path less traveled. The impossible remains impossible until it becomes reality. Everything around us, the innovations, the towering structures, the masterpieces, once resided solely in the mind of someone audacious enough to believe they could be realized. Thus, do not inquire whether something is realistic. Instead, question whether you possess the discipline to make it tangible. This leads us to the third principle, the power of autosuggestion. You must cultivate an inner dialogue of certainty, not just occasionally but consistently, until it becomes part of your identity. What you repeat, you begin to believe, and what you believe, you start to create. Make daily affirmations, express them with passion, and etch them into your subconscious like a brand, for your subconscious does not argue. It accepts what you convey, especially when communicated with repetition and emotion. If you routinely speak of limitations, do not be shocked when your life reflects those limiting beliefs. Conversely, if you declare your power, your potential, your precision, you will begin to shape your reality accordingly. Repeat after me. I think with clarity. I act with purpose. I achieve the impossible because I refuse to be confined by limitations. Repeat this until conviction overwhelms you, because belief is a habit, and all habits can be cultivated. Become intoxicated by your vision. Obsess over it. Be prepared to construct it in silence and solitude, willing to sacrifice while others doubt, sleep, or withdraw. Cultivate an immunity to the distractions from the world, for society will always urge you to play it safe, to remain realistic. But hear this: realism is the language of the defeated. No individual has ever reshaped the world by merely conforming to what is deemed realistic. They have transformed it by envisioning what others cannot, adamantly refusing to forget that vision. Let there be no misunderstanding. This journey will not be easy. You will be tempted to abandon your efforts. Comfort will tug at you, and others will label you foolish. Yet none of this will matter if your purpose is unequivocal, your faith is active, and your repetition is relentless. Only then do you become a formidable presence, since your outcomes will no longer hinge on opinions, emotions, or fears. They will be shaped by principle. the laws of cause and effect, the principles of mind and matter. And when you master these laws, you realize that what was once deemed impossible was merely unfamiliar. Once you train your mind to vibrate at the right frequency, that vision becomes yours. There is no force greater than a resolutely made-up mind. When a person makes a steadfast decision to achieve the impossible, not just hoping or fantasizing about it, nothing can stand in their way. Their thinking becomes unaffected, their spirit becomes unbreakable, and their results flow naturally from their commitment. Thus, I reiterate, if you desire to think profoundly and achieve the impossible, you must decide without hesitation. No backup plans, no safety nets, no alternative identities ready to catch you should your dreams falter. Burn the bridges behind you, close the back door, and confront your destiny boldly until it yields to you. Many fail because they maintain an escape route. They prepare for retreat rather than gearing up for conquest. The mindset that is ready to retreat will inevitably hesitate in the face of pressure, and hesitation extinguishes potential faster than failure ever could. Your thoughts need to be wholly committed. Your vision can only thrive full-time. Your standards ought to be unyielding. Walk as a person who has already achieved what others dismiss as impossible, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. From this alignment, you will begin to cultivate a quality that is rare: mental endurance. This is the ability to remain steadfast day after day, week after week, regardless of external validation. It is the capacity to stay obsessed when no one applauds your efforts, to continue when exhaustion sets in, and to execute when circumstances feel unjust. Remember, the impossible is not reached through a single victory, but through thousands of unseen repetitions. This achievement occurs in the shadows, when the world is asleep, entertained, and distracted. You persist, mentally and physically, training your mind to ignore the clamor, to transcend fear, and to forge ahead when logic urges you to halt. Entering a higher realm of understanding brings us to the law of controlled attention. The capability to direct and maintain your focus is the ultimate currency of power in this distracted age. Your environment is engineered to scatter your energy. Advertisements, opinions, and endless entertainment aim at fracturing your willpower. But the individual who conquers this distraction becomes invincible. When your attention is managed, you shape your reality with precision. What you dwell upon expands. Your obsessions materialize. If you fixate on doubt, you construct a prison. But if you focus on your vision, mission, and plans, every part of you will begin to align toward achieving those ambitions. This is no idle philosophy. It is law. The law of concentration states that whatever you hold in your mind, saturated with energy and repetition, will eventually manifest in your physical reality. So take a moment to assess what occupies your thoughts right now. Is it a well-defined, emotionally charged vision of the future you demand? Or is it a collage of worries and limitations imposed by others? Be ruthless with your focus. Whether you think consciously or by default, your thoughts will craft your life. There is no neutral thought. Each idea casts a vote for the person you are becoming or the one you are outgrowing. Hence, choose with conviction. Strive to become so intentional about your mindset that your outcomes become predictable. Next, we arrive at the principle of specialized knowledge. Understand that while general knowledge is ubiquitous, found in books, classrooms, and conversations, specialized knowledge That which is applied builds empires. The individual who achieves the impossible commits to learning every intricacy of what he aspires to master. He approaches knowledge not merely for entertainment, but for personal evolution. He studies his craft with the diligence of a surgeon mastering anatomy, obsessively, purposefully, with urgency. Knowledge, when applied with both discipline and intention, transforms into power, but knowledge without action is futile. Millions of individuals know what to do, yet few embark on doing it. Thus, study with focus and immediately execute. Action, especially when undertaken in the face of fear, separates the true visionary from the fantasizers. It generates momentum, which serves as the silent engine behind every overnight success you witness. This momentum is what transmutes impossibility into inevitability. As individuals move consistently every day, especially when no one is observing their efforts. The universe does not reward intention, but execution. You will not attain what you merely wish for. You will realize what you relentlessly prepare for. Reflect on what you are preparing for. A life that mirrors your potential or one that embodies your excuses. Remember that our thoughts create emotions, which then fuel behaviors, ultimately shaping our futures. Thus, I implore you to guard your thoughts fiercely, sharpen them like steel, and align them like soldiers on the battlefield. Once your thinking aligns correctly, your life must inevitably follow suit. Yet, this alignment will not manifest passively. The individual seeking to achieve the impossible does not wait for readiness. Instead, he progresses before he feels prepared. He acts amidst uncertainty and generates certainty through repetition. He recognizes that his outcomes rely not on fluctuating feelings, but on practiced actions. To think compellingly is to fully own your inputs, your focus, and your narrative. It is to declare, I am not a victim, I am a creator, and I will forge something that defies all limitations. Nonetheless, even with clarity, faith, repetition, and knowledge, you will face tests. The impossible does not yield to casual thinkers. It scoffs at half-hearted efforts. You will encounter obstacles, question your path, and wonder if your beliefs are misguided. Yet, keep in mind, nothing truly great is built without facing resistance. The pressure you feel is evidence that you are crafting something substantial, and applied pressure is what transmutes coal into diamonds. Continue to think. Think with clarity, think with intensity, and think with action. When your thoughts become congruent, with your beliefs, habits, and entire identity aligned, you will become magnetic. You will command attention differently, navigate your time with authority, and communicate with newfound confidence. Your thoughts will no longer be erratic. They will serve as powerful tools you have trained to perceive what others cannot, to act boldly while others hesitate, and to hold firm when others falter. That is what renders you formidable, not your background, credentials, or current status, but your thinking. Your thoughts shape your future, so endeavor to mold, master, and obsess over them. Once you do this, what once seemed impossible will start to seem inevitable. The world will eventually ask, how did he achieve that? And you will know the answer. You will smile, not because it was easy, but due to your thorough preparation. You have learned to think, and in mastering this art, you have discovered how to create what others claimed could never be achieved. Every person is endowed with the
ability to think, yet only a select few harness that capacity with intention, mastery, and a powerful focus that reshapes reality in their favor. Those few, those builders of their own destinies, become the pioneers of what others deem impossible. Because the impossible is never about external limitations. It is always about you, your beliefs, your standards, and your thoughts. These thoughts, rehearsed, refined, and reinforced until they manifest their own vitality, hold the key to realizing your highest potential. Ultimately, the person who accomplishes the impossible is not some superhuman individual. He is someone who has simply reprogrammed his mental machinery to reject anything less than excellence. He grasps this final truth. The prevailing thought of your mind becomes the prevailing condition of your life. So I ask you once more, what dominates your thoughts? Is it fear or focus? Is it hope or certainty? Is it imagination coupled with action, or fantasy disguised as procrastination? If you are not actively programming your mind every day, it will be unwittingly programmed for you by societal influences. Choose wisely. Choose to take control.
Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with more motivational content. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message.